What if I told you that many of the foods sitting in your kitchen right now aren't really food at all? That may sound extreme, but think about it for a moment. What is food supposed to do? At its core, food has one purpose: to sustain life, provide energy, and help your body grow, repair, and function at its best. So if something you eat doesn't truly nourish your body, if it doesn't provide real energy, if it leaves you tired, inflamed, and craving more, can we honestly call it food? That's exactly the problem with the modern diet. Today, a massive percentage of what people eat comes from ultra-processed foods. And this is one of the biggest reasons behind rising rates of obesity, fatigue, diabetes, heart disease, and chronic inflammation. But what exactly is ultra-processed food? Let's break it down. The word ultra means extreme, and processed means a food has been altered chemically, mechanically, or through intense heating to become something completely different from its original form. For example, manufacturers can take corn and transform it into powders, syrups, starches, oils, and artificial flavor carriers that no longer resemble corn in any meaningful way. It starts as food, but ends as something entirely different. And that's where the problem begins. These products are designed for one main purpose: long shelf life, low production cost, and high taste appeal. They're engineered to keep you coming back for more, not to nourish you, not to support health, not to help you thrive, just to taste good and sell. Now compare that to real whole foods, foods that are rich in bioavailable nutrients. These are foods loaded with vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, healthy fats, amino acids, and other beneficial compounds your body can actually use. That's what real food looks like. When you eat nutrient-dense whole foods, you feed every system in your body: your brain, muscles, hormones, immune system, and even your gut bacteria. And speaking of the gut, there's one nutrient that deserves more attention: fiber. Not synthetic fiber added to processed cereals, real fiber that naturally exists in whole foods. This type of fiber feeds your gut microbes, and your gut microbes influence everything from digestion to immunity to mental health. Now, when we talk about essential nutrients, there are some important things to understand. There are essential fats, there are essential proteins, but there are no essential carbohydrates. Your body can survive without carbohydrates because it can produce glucose when needed. That doesn't mean all carbs are bad. Far from it. Vegetables, for example, contain valuable nutrients like vitamin C, folate, potassium, magnesium, and phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are fascinating because they offer benefits beyond basic nutrition. Many act as antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and protective agents against disease. What's interesting is that these compounds aren't only found in plants. Even animal foods, especially high-quality animal foods, can contain phytonutrients. For example, grass-fed beef often contains significantly higher levels of beneficial compounds compared to grain-fed beef. That's because cattle raised on natural pasture consume nutrient-rich grasses instead of processed feed. The quality of the animal's diet directly affects the quality of the food you eat. The same applies to eggs. High-quality eggs from pasture-raised hens contain more nutrients and beneficial compounds than conventional eggs. That's why food quality matters just as much as food category. Now let's talk about plant-based diets for a moment. Can someone be healthy on a vegan diet? Yes, it's possible. But it often requires careful planning. Certain nutrients such as vitamin B12, DHA, omega-3s, iron, zinc, and complete amino acids are either missing or less bioavailable in plant-based diets. That doesn't mean plant foods are bad. It simply means some nutrients are easier to obtain from animal sources. For example, protein quality differs between plant and animal foods. Animal proteins generally provide a complete amino acid profile in highly absorbable forms. Plant proteins can still work, but you often need to combine multiple sources strategically. Another topic worth mentioning is anti-nutrients in plants. Certain vegetables, nuts, and seeds contain compounds like oxalates, phytates, and lectins. These can reduce mineral absorption in some cases. But here's the good news. Simple preparation methods can significantly reduce these compounds. Cooking cruciferous vegetables can lower anti-nutrients. Soaking nuts overnight can improve digestibility. Roasting can also help. In other words, preparation matters. Now let's look at the other extreme. Ultra-processed junk foods. Take a typical snack food. It may contain corn, vegetable oils, maltodextrin, artificial flavors, preservatives, artificial colors, monosodium glutamate, and several ingredients most people can't even pronounce. Sounds harmless? Look closer. That corn usually isn't sweet corn. It's often field corn, a crop not designed for direct human consumption. It gets heavily processed into powders and starches. Then manufacturers add seed oils. This is a major issue. Most ultra-processed foods contain industrial seed oils such as canola, sunflower, soybean, or corn oil. These oils are highly processed and extremely common in the modern diet. In fact, many people consume an enormous amount of calories from these oils alone. The danger isn't just calories, it's chronic inflammation. Excessive intake of highly processed seed oils may contribute to inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and long-term health issues. Yet strangely, people are constantly warned about saturated fat while ignoring the massive amount of processed oils in junk food. That's a huge mistake. Many products proudly advertise low saturated fat or zero saturated fat, making them appear healthy, but they're loaded with processed unsaturated fats from industrial oils. That's not health food, that's marketing. At the end of the day, the healthiest foods are usually the ones closest to their natural form. Foods with life. Foods that still contain the nutrients nature intended. The more a food has been stripped, processed, altered, and chemically manipulated, the less alive it becomes. And that brings us to the most important question. If most people are eating too much fake food, what are the absolute healthiest real foods you should be eating right now? That's exactly what we're covering next. Now that we've exposed the truth about ultra-processed foods, let's shift focus to something much more important: what you should be eating. If your goal is better energy, less inflammation, stronger muscles, a healthier brain, improved digestion, and long-term disease prevention, then the quality of your food matters more than ever. So what are the absolute healthiest foods you can eat? Let's start with one of the most misunderstood foods in modern nutrition. 1. Grass-fed beef. Yes, beef. Specifically, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. This may surprise you because for years, red meat has been blamed for all kinds of health problems. But here's what many people don't realize. Not all beef is created equal. There's a massive difference between highly processed meats and high-quality grass-fed beef. You cannot compare a pasture-raised cow eating natural grass to heavily processed fast food meat. They are completely different foods. Grass-fed beef is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. It provides high-quality protein, iron, zinc, B vitamins, healthy fats, and essential amino acids. One of its biggest strengths is glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid that plays a major role in gut health. It helps support and repair the intestinal lining, making it incredibly important for people dealing with digestive issues or inflammation. This may explain why many people who switch to a high-quality beef-based diet notice improvements in gut health, bloating, and inflammation. Your body thrives on quality protein, and beef delivers it in a highly bioavailable form. 2. Wild-caught fatty fish. The second food on the list is wild-caught fatty fish, especially salmon. Fatty fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are among the most powerful anti-inflammatory nutrients you can consume. These healthy fats support brain function, heart health, hormone balance, joint health, inflammation control. Most people today consume way too much omega-6 from processed seed oils and far too little omega-3. That imbalance creates a major problem. Too much omega-6 and too little omega-3 can push the body toward chronic inflammation. That's why eating fatty fish regularly can make such a difference. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies are all excellent choices. These foods nourish your brain, protect your heart, and help your body fight inflammation naturally. 3. Shellfish. Shellfish are often overlooked, but they're nutritional powerhouses. We're talking about oysters, clams, mussels, shrimp, lobster, crab. These foods are loaded with minerals many people are deficient in, and not just common minerals. We're talking about important trace minerals that your body needs in small amounts but absolutely depends on for optimal health. Shellfish are rich in zinc, copper, selenium, iron, magnesium. Oysters deserve special attention. They are one of the best natural sources of zinc on the planet. Zinc is essential for immune function, testosterone production, wound healing, metabolism, and overall cellular health. Many people are walking around with low zinc levels without even realizing it. Adding shellfish to your diet can be a game changer. 4. Eggs. Eggs are another superfood that has been misunderstood for decades. For years, people feared eggs because of cholesterol, but now we know that for most healthy individuals, eggs are one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. Whole eggs are packed with protein, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. But here's something important. Most of the nutrition is in the yolk. That beautiful golden yolk contains choline, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin B12, selenium, and many other nutrients. Choline deserves special attention because it's critical for brain function, memory, liver health, nervous system support. Many people don't get enough choline. Eggs are one of the best natural sources. When possible, choose high-quality eggs such as pasture-raised or organic eggs. The better the farming practices, the better the nutrition. 5. Fermented vegetables. Now let's talk about gut health. One of the best foods for your gut is fermented vegetables. This includes foods like sauerkraut kimchi, fermented cabbage. These foods are loaded with probiotics, beneficial bacteria that help support your digestive system. Your gut microbiome influences far more than digestion. It affects immune function, mental health, inflammation, energy levels, nutrient absorption. A healthy gut can improve nearly every aspect of health. Fermented vegetables offer something special because they contain both probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics are beneficial bacteria. Prebiotics are fibers that feed those bacteria. That combination is incredibly powerful. Sauerkraut in particular is especially impressive. It contains large amounts of vitamin C and beneficial compounds that support gut health and immune function. If you want better digestion and stronger immunity, fermented foods deserve a place in your diet. 6. Leafy greens. Leafy greens may not be exciting, but they're essential. These include foods like spinach, arugula, kale, romaine, lettuce, Swiss chard. They are loaded with important nutrients including folate, vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, antioxidants. These nutrients help support blood pressure, heart health, energy production, and cellular function. Leafy greens also provide plant compounds that help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. Yes, some greens like spinach contain oxalates, but there's an easy solution. Cooking spinach or pairing it with calcium-rich foods like cheese can reduce oxalate concerns significantly. The key is balance. Leafy greens are still among the healthiest foods you can eat. We've already covered some of the most powerful foods you can eat: grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, shellfish, eggs, fermented vegetables, and leafy greens. Now let's finish with a few more foods that are incredibly nutrient-dense and often overlooked. These foods may not always be the most popular, but from a nutritional perspective, they are among the best. 7. Organ meats. Let's talk about one of nature's most nutrient-dense superfoods. Organ meats. Yes, foods like liver, heart, and kidney. Not everyone loves them, and that's understandable. Organ meats can be an acquired taste. But when it comes to nutrition, very few foods can compete. Organ meats are loaded with essential nutrients, including vitamin A, vitamin B12, iron, copper, zinc, folate, choline, CoQ10. These nutrients play critical roles in energy production, brain health, immunity, and cellular repair. Liver, in particular, is often called nature's multivitamin. Why? Because it's packed with nutrients in highly absorbable forms. Your body can use these nutrients efficiently. That matters. It's not just about what nutrients are present in food, it's about how much your body can actually absorb and use. That's where organ meats shine. If traditional liver isn't something you enjoy, there are alternatives. Many people choose desiccated organ supplements or foods like cod liver. Cod liver is especially valuable because it contains not only important vitamins, but also omega-3 fatty acids. That combination makes it a powerful food for brain health, inflammation control, and overall wellness. Even small amounts of organ meats can provide significant nutritional benefits. You don't need large amounts. A little goes a long way. 8. Herbs and spices. Now let's talk about something many people underestimate. Herbs and spices. Most people think of herbs as simple flavor enhancers. But they're much more than that. Many herbs and spices are packed with powerful compounds that can support health in incredible ways. Think of them as concentrated sources of plant medicine. Some of the best include garlic, onion, basil, sage, thyme, cinnamon, turmeric, ginger. These foods contain bioactive compounds that may help support immune health, inflammation control, blood sugar balance, heart health, brain function. Let's take garlic as an example. Garlic contains sulfur compounds known for their powerful health benefits. These compounds may support cardiovascular health, immune function, and even natural detoxification pathways. Cinnamon is another excellent example. It may help improve blood sugar regulation and reduce oxidative stress. Turmeric, especially when combined with black pepper, contains curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound. The beauty of herbs and spices is that they're easy to include in daily meals. A little garlic in your cooking, fresh basil in salads, cinnamon in tea or yogurt. Small additions can make a big difference over time. The real secret to healthy eating. Now here's the truth. Healthy eating doesn't need to be complicated. The food industry wants nutrition to feel confusing. One week, fat is bad. The next week, carbs are bad. Then suddenly protein is the hero. People are overwhelmed. But real nutrition is actually very simple. The healthiest diet usually follows one powerful principle. Eat real food. That's it. Choose foods as close to their natural form as possible. Foods your great-grandparents would recognize. Foods that come from nature, not factories. The more processed a food becomes, the further it moves away from health. The more natural a food remains, the more likely it is to nourish your body. That means prioritizing high-quality animal proteins, healthy fats, nutrient-dense vegetables, fermented foods, mineral-rich foods, herbs and spices, and most importantly, reducing ultra-processed foods. Because no matter how many healthy foods you add, if most of your diet still consists of junk food, progress becomes much harder. This is where transformation begins. Not through perfection, not through extreme dieting, but through better choices made consistently. Every meal is an opportunity to fuel your body, an opportunity to reduce inflammation, an opportunity to improve your energy, focus, and long-term health. Remember this, your body is constantly rebuilding itself. The question is, what are you building it with? Are you feeding it ingredients that support healing and strength, or ingredients that slowly increase inflammation and dysfunction? Because food is information. Every bite sends signals to your body. Those signals can promote healing or disease. Choose wisely. The goal isn't to eat perfectly. The goal is to eat intentionally. Focus on quality. Focus on nutrient density. Focus on real food. That's where true health begins. And if you consistently build your diet around the foods we discussed today, you'll be giving your body exactly what it needs to thrive. Better energy, better metabolism, better brain function, better recovery, better long-term health. It all starts with what's on your plate.